Right, ladies and gentlemen, then it is my pleasure to welcome you to our AGM. I have some apologies from absence. I've received them from Pat and John Ashley, Sue and Noel Baptiste, Alan Byrne, Anne Clark, Anne Coles, Chrissy Eldridge, Jeff Fall, Anne Jeffries, Barbara Lake, Peter Melville, Tony Johnson and Ron West. Any other apologies for anyone to give? Right, well, thank you. Right. Before we confirm the minutes of the meeting, I usually like just a few moments of silence, if we may, to remember members who are now in the higher membership list, if I can put it that. Remembering especially Kiki Dressen, the Reverend Bill Maxwell, and our honorary member, Alan Rice. So if we could have a moment's silence, please, in memory of them. Thank you. Right, if we can go through the agenda, and I would like to go through it as fast as you will allow me, if I can put it that way, because we're all keen to listen to Will, our speaker, and I will introduce him formally in a moment. And then, of course, there's something called special refreshments tonight. And that's why I see so many people in the room, I suppose, because you haven't come to listen to the chairman. That is a dead cert. So, first of all, if I may, to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 27th of January 2022. These minutes, of course, were sent out to you by email, so you should have seen all the relevant forms for this evening. Can I have someone who's prepared to put them out as accepted? Bob Braid, thank you. A seconder, please. Second. Thank you, Linton. That's Bob. Are we happy? Those in favour of the minutes? No. Okay. Anyone against? Thank you. All right. There were no matters arising from those minutes, so we will move forward if we may. To accept, item 4, to accept the trustees' report to the Charity Commission for the year ended the 31st of October. This has been submitted and you have received a copy of it. As you will appreciate, by law, we are required to do so, and your trustees have done that accordingly. So, can I have a proposal? Thank you, Andrew, that we accept this, the report. A seconder, please. Thank you. Yeah. And are we happy? Those in favour? Yeah. All content? Any objections? No? Thank you. Right. Then we come to the item 5, to accept the Treasurer's report and financial statement for the financial year ending the 31st of October 2022. Is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. Treasurer?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be really brief. Our finances are looking good. The money that you all pay, the £10 membership, covers our running costs. The outing roughly breaks even. And the other work, such as the website development that Chris mentioned earlier, that's paid for mainly through donations and grants. So everything is looking well balanced. I'd like to thank Adam Smith very much for his work in independently reviewing the accounts, which he's done for a number of years. He did have a few questions for me. I was able to answer those. So he's signed off to say he's happy with the accounts. If there's any questions, I'll take them. Otherwise, we'll put it to a proposal and vote. Any questions on the accounts?
No.
No, not interested in the numbers. I don't blame you.
Can I have a proposal? Well, I assume the treasurer will propose.
No.
No? No, all right then. Chris Beaton will propose. Roger, would you? You'll propose. Thank you, Roger. Chris Beaton's going to second. Are you happy, please? Will you show content? Anyone against? No, so we can survive financially for at least another year. Thank you. Right. The appointment of the independent examiner. Adam Smith is standing down this year because he's decided to take on another role, the role of being one of our trustees. So obviously he can no longer qualify to be our independent examiner. I'm very pleased to say that Ian Shipp has offered his services. Ian, would you like to just show yourself, please? Ian actually audits and examines quite a few accounts anyway, so he is well versed in this matter. It is my pleasure, therefore, to actually propose him to be the independent examiner. Can I have a seconder, please? Right, Sally Reid. Right, so Sally Reid. Right. Are we happy with the appointment? All those in favour? Any against? And it's carried. Welcome on board, Ian. Thank you very much. Now, according to our constitution, we need 3 trustees to offer themselves for a further period of 3 years, and we go through rotation. And this year, it's David Graves. David, if you'd like to just stand up, please. Paul French, if you'd like to stand up. And unfortunately, it's myself, so this is your chance. The 3 of us offer ourselves for re-election. Are you happy that we are re-elected? Yes. Or can you ask for a show of hands of approval? Any against? Okay, then you have to put up with me for a little longer, I'm afraid, in that sense. We have 2 new people who have volunteered to become trustees. Adam Smith, you know of, because he's been our independent examiner. Adam is at the back. Adam, just stand up a moment so people can see you, you know. Okay. And another chap called Peter Hopkins. Now, this is the trouble when people volunteer. They have pre-booked their holidays. So Peter actually is not with us this evening, but is looking forward to meeting as many of you at future meetings. He has kindly volunteered to take on the role of secretary for the organisation. We have been lacking a secretary for quite a few years now, and this gentleman here is only overjoyed to think that there is someone that might take a little bit off of my shoulders. And Peter comes from a secretarial background. He's run his own companies and everything. And I think he'll forgive me by saying, I think he is a workaholic. He likes to get stuck in and is very keen to support this society. So on behalf of you, I would like to propose Adam Smith and Peter Hopkins become trustees. Would someone second it, please? Viv, thank you. And are you in favour? Yeah. Any against? Carried. Well, thank you. We now come on to item 8, the election of the chairman and officers. Now, you will have seen in your notes that went out with the AGM that these are elected by the trustees. They're included for your information and for your confirmation. So, unfortunately, it says here to confirm the appointment of Christopher Hobby as chairman of the society. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yeah, well, you know, I did warn you had the opportunity to get rid of me, to confirm the appointment of Peter Hopkins as Secretary and to confirm the appointment of Andrew Priestley as Treasurer. Can I have a proposer, please? Keith, thank you. And a seconder? Thank you, John. Right. Those in favour? Anyone against? Well, everything seems to be unanimous so far this evening. Long may it continue. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now it comes to the Chairman's review. And excuse me if I just take a sip. I'm afraid I have a little bit to say, and I make no apologies, and you will no doubt understand why as we go across. This last couple of years have been difficult ones for us all as we come to terms with living in a COVID world. However, your trustees have continued to plan for the future, ensuring that we can offer you another excellent programme of lectures and outing for the coming year. My grateful thanks to Vivian and Linton Robbins for all the preparation which they put into last year's outing to Hinton Ampher and Southwark Houses, which proved to be highly successful, and also for finding alternative speakers when COVID prevented the planned lectures. During the year, David Graves joined the trustees to work with Vivian and Linton in preparation for taking over this important role from them at next year's AGM. We are so lucky in having Paul French on our team of trustees. His ability to take on the technical problems that can come with the lecture's computer material and sound issues within this hall has ensured that no lecture has failed so far, touch wood and all the rest of it, and not forgetting his photography skills, which we rely upon. Our attendance levels at our recent lectures have risen sharply, and we are now back to pre-COVID attendance levels, thanks in the main to the many new members that have joined us since September. I sincerely hope our new members are enjoying being part of the society and that your membership will be long and a happy one with us. We now have over 200 members, and I am grateful to Celia Jones for maintaining the membership records and issuing out periodic emails to remind us of future and upcoming events. Because of having a firm, strong membership base, it has meant that your subs have remained at the same as £10 for another year, which I believe personally is excellent value for your money, but you may think differently. My thanks to our Honoured Treasurer Andrew Priestley for ensuring that our accounts are in a healthy position and that the books in good order to ease inspection by our independent examiner, Adam Smith. Adam, as I said, retired from this position at tonight's AGM and has now become a trustee, and he will be leading future meetings of the research group. Thank you, Adam, for your past services, and we look forward to your new role. Obviously, as I've said before, I'm pleased to welcome Ian Shipp as our new independent examiner of the accounts. After a period of several years when we have lacked a permanent secretary at our trustees meetings, I'm delighted that Peter Hopkins has joined us to take on the role. As I've said, sadly he cannot be with us tonight due to a pre-booked holiday, but I know he's looking forward to getting to know you at the future meetings. Our archivist, Bob Braid, patiently continues to catalogue the items within our archive and to date has produced almost 10,000 entries and works with his sister Anne to produce articles for the annual newsletter, which she kindly produces. Bob also works on articles for the occasional magazine and acts as part of its editorial team along with Joanna Close-Brooks under the editor-in-chief, Barry Jolly. I'm indebted to Barry, who is very much our man of words and writes not only for our occasional magazine, but for county and international publications, all of which has raised the profile of this society. Last year saw the commencement of new projects being undertaken for us and by us. Following the collapse of part of the eastern wing at Hurst Castle and subsequent closure of both wings to the public, we were approached by Hurst Marine as agents for English heritage to undertake historical research on all aspects of the castle's history and that of the Spit and the community that lived there. Paul French is coordinating this project and will be pleased to receive offers of assistance in what will no doubt be an ongoing research. Local History Lives project is being led by Chris Sanders and aims to put online up to 75,000 records of local christenings, weddings and burials covering the enlarged Milford, which originally included Milton, Hordle and Pennington areas, together with other listings providing a wealth of information for local historians and family researchers alike. Work has continued since our Cornwallis commemorations back in 2019 to provide a national memorial to him. This year, finally, this will be achieved when, in conjunction with our partners, the 1805 Club, a stone memorial will be unveiled in the grounds of St Anne's Church in the Royal Naval Dockyard in Portsmouth on the 16th of June. If you are interested in attending, numbers will be limited, but please let Celia know and we will keep you posted on the arrangements. We have welcomed new trustees this evening, and it is now time to say a thank you to two trustees who have retired during the past year and at tonight's meeting, both of which have given great service to our society. Firstly, Chris Sanders. While Chris has not been a trustee for a long period, but in his term of office, he has contributed immensely to the modernising of the society. Being involved in Bringing History Home initiative and working with our former treasurer, Mark Clayson, he obtained for us charitable status, a massive achievement in its own right. Before setting to obtain grants and funds from numerous sources to finance the £50,000 needed to achieve all the objectives for the committee dealing with the series of events which were planned for the Cornwallis commemorations. This was to include a major exhibition held in St Barb Museum, a special publication, the Admiral's Heritage Trail, a national service of commemoration at All Saints Church, followed by a reimagining of the bringing home of the news of Trafalgar and Nelson's death, and a parade followed by a reception and entertainment on the village green. During the height of the pandemic, Chris then commenced producing bi-monthly videos, lectures available through our website for all to view whilst meetings were prohibited. He now leads the Local History Lives project, and whilst no longer being a trustee, will continue to lead the project through to completion. He will also continue in his role as webmaster until a suitable replacement can be found, but will retire from this position at the latest by the end of the year. We will not lose his experience, as he will be continuing as an active member of the research group. Chris's contribution to MOSHRS has been outstanding, and it is the wish of myself and my fellow trustees that he receives recognition for all his efforts in the form of honorary membership of the Society, which I formally now propose. May I have a seconder, please? Adam Smith. Are you in favour? All those in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Then, Chris, please come forward. Now, another trustee, Dr. Joanna Close-Brooks, stood down during the year, believe it or not, after almost 40 years of involvement with the Society. Joanna came back to Milford in 1982 from Edinburgh, where she had worked for 12 years in the then National Museum of Antiquities of Scotland, now known as the Museum of Scotland. Ursula Danby, then chairman of the Society, made her a committee member and the keeper of the records in succession to the late Peggy Bagnall, which Joanna continued to do until the time when she started acting as curator to the Friends of Lymington and was on the steering committee, the body working towards a museum from the start when it began in 1988 until 1994, when the first paid curator was appointed. She became a trustee of St Barb Museum for 27 years from 1992 to 2019 and still assists with cataloguing their artefacts. From 2004, Joanna joined our editorial committee when Margaret Bennett started publishing the occasional magazines, becoming joint editor with Margaret for later publications. We miss Joanna's wise counsel and experience with archives at our meetings. But like Chris, she is continuing to help us as part of the editorial team. Now, we can't make you an honorary member as you were awarded this in 2015. However, I can now, because you didn't have this at the time, and it was the first thing that I did when I became chairman to make you an honorary member. You can now have it officially backdated, Joanna, so do come up. Now, you've had that, Joanna, because that's only confirming what Joanna officially received in 2015. But on behalf of us all, I think 40 years deserves something, don't you? So here is a little token of our esteem.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
We are now almost at the end of the formal part of the AGM business. However, I have just one more thing to inform you of. Tomorrow, MOSHRS has a special anniversary. It will be 50 years since the first AGM of the Reformed Society. The Society, having gone into abeyance in the 1950s, having classed its work as being completed. Having been one of those who stirred up interest in getting the Society going again, it was a great privilege for me to be voted onto the committee at the tender age of 18. And here I am, 50 years later, having the privilege of being your chairman. Thank you very much indeed. And you've probably noticed behind that we were fortunate to have two sponsors as well this evening, the Lazy Lion and the Paddle. So I hope you will enjoy what they have given towards us this evening and that you will support them in due course. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.